Now, eventually you plan to have dinosaurs in your dinosaur review, right? Hello? Hello? Yes?
It's been years since the first sightings of the animals off the island. The islands were supposed to be a safe haven for them. They're in our world now, and genetic power has now been unleashed. So I've assembled a team. Our goal? Document and monitor the animal to reduce conflict between their species and ours.
Well, after that kind of intro, I want to shoot some epic car shots now. All right, welcome
everyone.
yes, to the first ever Nerdvana podcast live stream event. I am John Murphy, and with me, as always, is my co-host Ian Benoit.
Great to be live.
Great
for
to be
the
live.
First time ever.
Yes, yeah. This actually feels a little bit more like a podcast. This is going to be real. It's going to be raw. It's going to be unedited, and I know I'm going to mess up at one point.
John, how many times have we messed up?
Well, a lot.
We don't get paid to do this.
No, we don't, but it's fun.
It is. So, yes, John, based on that intro, what movie are we doing?
The Fifth Element.
Yeah. That's a weird poster for Fifth Element. But
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So enough joking aside. Yes, it is Jurassic World Dominion, the third movie in the Jurassic World trilogy, the sixth in the entire Jurassic Park franchise. And is it the last we'll hear of Jurassic Park? Might be the last we'll hear of the OG cast.
Probably. I think it's the last we're gonna hear of the franchise for a while.
It's not gonna go extinct, but it's gonna go dormant.
For a while, yes.
All right, and already we have our fan in the chat, Zaid Nail or Zaid Nail. I don't know if I'm pronouncing either of those names correct.
I have a feeling you're butchering them.
Well, I knew a Saeed once, but so I'm just using experience that loves your poster, Ian, and I have to agree, it is a pretty good poster.
Yeah, it was only like $2, so why not?
Walmart.
Yep.
So yes, we're talking about Jurassic World Dominion. This was 4 years after Fallen Kingdom, which do keep an eye out for a video where it's going to be a rewatch for me as well as a drinking game.
For John.
For me, mostly.
And I'm just going to enjoy the show.
Yep. I'm going to enjoy the riffs I'll make when my inhibitions are lowered.
Oh, gosh. But so that will be for the future.
Yes. So what Dominion does is that it picks up. Thank you so much, Zaid, and really, thank you for the love. This movie picks up about 4 years after the events of Fallen Kingdom. Dinosaurs are now roaming the world. Claire and Owen, which I'm actually surprised I still remember their names, are still looking after. Oh God, I can't even remember. What's the little girl's name?
Maisie Lockwood.
Maisie, right? They're still looking after Maisie, but they're kind of more in hiding, while they're doing their own ways of trying to keep the dinosaurs safe. With Owen, it's kind of more like being a cowboy slash How to Train Your Dragon wannabe trainer. You knew that was coming.
Yes, and okay.
How many times did we reference Jurassic Park in the first 2 seasons of How to Train Your Dragon?
A lot.
Yes.
I mean, Speed Stingers.
Speed Stingers. The episode that introduced the smoke breaths.
Yes, and it's just, I can understand for, referencing Jurassic Park. I mean, come on. Spielberg helped start DreamWorks, so you have to, honestly. What this movie does is pretty much what a lot of these legacy sequels do is that it brings the new cast and it has the new cast meet the old cast. Oh.
which okay, a little overdue, but glad you finally got to it. Not just Dr. Grant, Dr. Ellie Sattler, and Dr. Ian Malcolm, but Rexy as well.
Yes, Rexy, who's still kicking around.
I'm sorry, that was in my head all day.
Only all day?
Oh,
it's been in my head since I saw the movie.
Okay.
And while I was editing that.
Yeah, all right. So you mean Roberta? Zaid says Roberta. Oh,
Roberta is the name of the animatronic while they were making the first film.
Oh my God! I'm a film nerd. I should have known that.
Well, I have the Making of Jurassic Park book over there on my shelf.
Oh man.
I shouldn't. Yeah, yes, she's still alive. Yes, that's so good. The animatronic and the dinosaur itself, which that was a really good climax in that one. So what's the premise of Dominion? Well, surprisingly, since we now live in a world where humans and dinosaurs coexist, it's not really much. That's not really the focus for the movie.
No, and I think that works to the film's benefit. I know not everyone is a fan. I'm aware not everyone is a fan of that idea, but I think in the long run, it works to the film's benefit because we've seen what happens when dinosaurs and humans commingle and you try to control the animal. We've seen that time and time again since The Lost World.
I think I don't know. For me, Lost World, Jurassic Park in general was of how humans try to use technology to try to again like overcome or try to manipulate nature. And I didn't really get much of this in Dominion, even from the of course the greedy corporation that decides to make locust dinosaur hybrids.
No, that's not hybrid, just giant prehistoric locust.
I thought they were genetic hybrids, not clones.
I don't think so. For once, I don't have the Wikipedia article pulled up. Jurassic World Dominion. But from what I understood, it was just a breed of prehistoric locust.
That's kind of weird. That's weird that was never brought up in any of the previous movies. Prehistoric bugs.
Well, they didn't think of it.
They did.
They didn't think to do that. That wasn't the focus of the story.
So there were some surprises, some nice little Easter eggs. I think the biggest surprise was the inclusion of a character that appeared to be one-off. So his character now is a nice little bookends. He was in the first movie and now he's in the last movie, and that is Dodson.
Nobody cares.
No one cares. Yes, Dodson. Yes, Dodson. Dodson.
We've got Dodson here.
Dodson was in the movie.
Oh, it's so good to see him back.
I know. The thing
Bastard.
I even had to look up, is that the same actor who actually played Dodson in the original one? It's not.
No.
It's not.
And we've covered why before in the Lost World review.
Which I can't remember now. I'm going to have to look at that. I'll have to...
The previous actor became a registered sex offender for abusing a young girl.
Ah! Well, that would do it.
Yeah.
That would do it. Well, at least they got a guy that looks a little like him if he was about 30 years older. Granted, I wish it wasn't Peter Parker's dad. But hey, he was actually good.
Yeah. And yeah, I really like how they did his character because in the books, he is shown to be a very rash, almost vicious character. In Jurassic Park and The Lost World. He's in both of those. He is a vicious, greedy bastard. And it's great to finally see that conniving jerk brought to screen in full glory.
Yeah. Yeah, because we don't get much of his character in that one scene.
Mm-hmm.
uh, what's funny is that our our fan pointed out that Dodson pretty much dies the same way as Nedry, which I thought that's like poetic justice right there.
That's what I thought exactly. Except he dies how Nedry did, but to the nth degree.
Yes,
it's not just one Dilo.
It wasn't. Oh, the Dilos were finally back.
Yes, I mean I do wish they didn't spoil it in the trailer.
I'm kind of glad they did, because then that would have at least given me a little bit of that gave me motivation to see the movie.
Yeah, I get that, and they want to really say like, "Hey, these things are back."
Yes, finally,
But
after teasing us in movie 2.
I do wish that they kept it completely secretive, and then we just saw that on screen for the first time.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad they returned.
Absolutely.
You know, fake dinosaur or not, it was a key moment in the original movie, and when I saw them, and it just sort of reminded me the difference between how the original movie was shot and how this sequel trilogy, as well as all modern movies, are shot and lit nowadays, which we'll get into. Bumped my mic. All right, okay. All right.
My pets don't do that.
Ever since I got this shit. Oh, careful, boy. Yeah, there we go. His paw was my cord wrapped around one of his legs. It was just about choking me. So, all right. So the whole point of the movie is that there's like a two-pronged race. It's essentially like an A plot, B plot, and it all converges over Dodson's lab / company
sanctuary thing.
Little biological sanctuary, in a way.
A kind of biological preserve.
Yeah. I didn't want to quote the movie, so that's why I said biological sanctuary. All right, so one plot involves the capture of Maisie Lockwood, because she is a quote unquote clone whose DNA has the very genetic code for something I don't really know.
I felt that was a little convoluted. Yeah. I wish they just kept it with like, hey, she's the clone of her mother. Mm-hmm. That's probably my one big gripe with the movie.
Yeah. And then
I do wish they kept that.
And then there's the B plot, where there seems to be a plague of giant locusts that seems to be eating certain crops, but leaving some other crops unharmed because they're made from the same company. I was like, oh gee.
Although, to be honest, completely realistic.
Yes.
Corporation abso-freaking-lutely would do this.
I'm watching a movie about dinosaurs existing with humans in modern times. Reality was left at the door in the theater that I walked through. Why do I need another Hollywood movie telling me about how corporations are evil?
We got that in RoboCop, our first real review of the series.
I know, but but do you know how many Hollywood movies there are that say corporations are evil?
And even though Hollywood is something of a corporation.
Yes. Although
maybe the higher ups at Hollywood are so tone deaf that directors just say whatever the hell they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's gonna be a lot of jokes. There's gonna be a lot of jokes about this movie, but quite frankly, I'm mocking it out of enjoyment rather unlike Fallen Kingdom, which I mocked out of disappointment.
This is what I think. Now, I'm sure everybody has seen it. I don't know if you've seen it, John. The prologue that was released in November.
I haven't seen that yet.
Oh, you definitely should check that out. It is the original beginning for this movie. They just cut it for time, but they still released it as a short film on the Jurassic World YouTube channel for everyone to enjoy for free. I think that was how everyone thought this movie was going to be. You know, people going out, capturing the dinosaurs, and moving them somewhere else. I think that's what a lot of people built it up in their minds as to be, because obviously dinosaurs are everywhere. Some people are going to want to try to track them down. Other people might just want to try to coexist. And I think a lot of people thought that we would just be, dino wrangling again. However,
I wish there was a little bit. I wish there was a little bit more of a focus on the interaction between humans and dinosaurs, because we kind of had a little glimpse of that in the beginning of Fallen Kingdom. With Claire, new character, I thought of this for the drinking game. You'll get the rules anyway, but like how Claire seems to be like a completely different character compared to what she was in the first movie, and I was like, and that was like 3 years. That was 3 years later. I was like, but you know what? They made John go from capitalist to naturalist in 4 years in the original trilogy. So what the heck? Par for the course.
And honestly, people change.
Yeah.
Dramatic experiences, people change. Not a big deal, from my perspective. But Dominion really took an interesting twist with the whole dinosaurs and things. And, well, they actually did several things. One, they gave us different types of raptors.
Yes, actually. Yes, I like how they didn't explain how they were able to find pure dinosaur DNA, but they just said that they found it, and so now we got raptors with feathers.
Yes, that one.
What was the raptor that swam after Owen and the pilot?
That was called a pyroraptor.
A fire bird of prey.
Essentially, fire thief. Pyroraptor Olympius, which translates to fire thief of Olympus.
You mean like Prometheus?
Yes, exactly.
That was referenced in the movie?
No, that's actually what it's called.
No, they referenced Prometheus. They referenced the myth of Prometheus.
No, that's what the actual
No, I mean that's funny. That's kind of hilarious.
Yes.
The raptor that goes after the two heroes on in the frozen dam is essentially its name, its species is a reference to the Greek story of Prometheus.
Yes.
Who stole fire from Mount Olympus
and gave it to humans.
Yes. That's hilarious.
And poetic.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also down below, there's a new raptor squad on the block.
Oh right. Okay, finally they take the idea of trained raptors and kick it up a notch, and actually make it more more believable than it was. Okay, kind of actually add some more context than it was in Jurassic World.
And they also take stuff from the Indoraptor and push that forward as well.
Oh god!
They combined all of these ideas.
I am glad there was no more dino combo hybrid Frankensteining in this movie. Seriously, because I swear, if they were going to do that in this movie, I would have walked out.
But we see another person's relationship with trained Atrociraptors. Interesting species I've never heard of before this movie.
Really?
Yeah, I've never heard of Atrociraptors before until the names came out for the movie, and they're an interesting little animal. Nowhere near this big. They just pulled the same Jurassic Park scheme of, make things bigger.
Mm-hmm.
But Atrociraptors are a real animal.
Oh, okay.
We also have some other animals.
Yeah, okay. We had I thought it was called a Gigantosaurus, but they call it Giganotosaurus.
That is the correct pronunciation, yes. Giganotosaurus.
Which apparently is bigger and meaner than the Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Yeah.
And we have, honestly, the scariest dinosaur I've ever come across. That honestly makes velociraptors, the T-Rex, and even geese scary. Make it look tame in comparison. What was that? What was that eldritch horror that Claire came across?
Oh, that beautiful animal is called a Therizinosaurus. Quite literally, that animal's name means scythe lizard.
And for good reason. Did you see those claws? And it had a that was my favorite new dinosaur because its intro was it was great. It was just downright horrifying. I mean, it's
been so long since we've seen an herbivore aggressive.
That's an herbivore?
That is an herbivore. If you watch the movie again, and I'm sure you will, that thing was munching away on a bush with berries. Therizinosaurus was an herbivore.
Oh my god, I did not expect that. I guess I guess I was more creeped out by the design, or the design of nature. I'm guessing it was also blind based off the eye coloration.
Either that or severely damaged vision from something or other.
Mm.
But either way, that actually worked a lot better to the scene's credit.
Which was why that was such a good intro.
Oh my god. That's right up there with the T-Rex's intro in the original movie.
Oh god, yes.
If they do make more stuff, do more of this.
Yes,
do some with suspense, and this is something that takes it in a completely different direction.
Mm-hmm.
Do more of that.
God, I am so glad. At first, I thought it was another hybrid, but
no, that's a real animal.
Yeah, that's real. It's now my.
Also, Jurassic World actually tamed it down. It was weirder in actuality.
Oh my.
Instead, they got the long claws right. They removed the cheeks. It actually had cheeks to hold plant matter in while it was chewing it.
Okay.
And it stood more upright than in the film, and it actually had a beer gut. It is the weirdest animal ever, and I'm so glad they put a fairly accurate rendition of this animal in this movie.
So instead of being like a very streamlined turkey, it's more like oh god, why do I know? More like a football fan from a football redneck fan. essentially.
Kind of, yes, but with a long neck and still those badass claws.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also some other animals. We got Quetzalcoatlus made an appearance.
Of Quetzalcoatlus, named after the Mexican serpent bird god.
Yes, I wish they did more with this animal.
Which, honestly, when you think about it, which is a good metaphor for dinosaurs in general. We thought dinosaurs were lizards. We now know that they're birds.
Mm-hmm. And they really could have done something really cool with Therizinosaurus, because that entire group of animals, I mean, not Therizinosaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, that entire group of animals didn't hunt from the sky. They would land. That entire group of animals is called exarchids, and they're two big things. One, they're giant. Two, they hunted on the ground. They would land and walk to hunt their prey.
The Quetzal. Yeah, sorry, I'm readjusting my camera. So the Quetzalcoatl, was that the pteranodon-like dinosaur that attacks the plane?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought I briefly heard them describe that.
Yeah, I wish they did more with that animal, because just seeing that walk through a foggy forest would have been terrifying.
Oh, I'll bet. All right, so we kind of covered a lot of the new dinosaurs. We covered a lot. We covered a lot of new dinosaurs, and we covered what the plots of this. I mean, honestly, which part of the movie, for me, which part of the movie did you kind of like more on? For me, I liked the plot that involved the OG cast, because that felt a little more interesting to me. I'm sorry.
It really did, because it was different.
Mm-hmm.
It was really different. What Claire and Owen were trying to do, they were just trying to get Beta, Blue's baby, and Maisie back. Not exactly that big of a deal. I mean, the OG cast had a very interesting story, and I preferred that.
Mm-hmm. But the other story with Claire and Owen and Maisie, I mean, it's an interesting idea. But I don't think they executed it pretty well.
No, I think it was more of a reason to have the whole cast meet up.
Which is... That's kind of a not so good sign, really.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. You gotta move the plot forward, but, you know, they could have done something better.
I know. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I kind of think the whole idea of making Maisie like the central focus of, like, we need to capture the girl. She's the key to unlocking. Why do you need her? Because of, okay, yeah, I get it. Henry Wu apparently needs something in her blood. By the way, Henry, good on you for bringing the pandemic look to the big screen. Yeah, Henry, yeah,
too relatable.
I know. Dressed in a cardigan, he looks like he hasn't slept in days. His hair is long, and he's in a very extra long cardigan.
Yeah. Very relatable.
Especially when
different take for Henry Wu.
I know, especially when, you know, filming started in early 2020 and then got shut down in March due to the pandemic.
I wonder if for his scenes they literally just pulled him out of whatever hotel room he was staying in and said, "All right, quarantine's over temporarily. Get out. No makeup or nothing. Just pure.
And nothing against BD Wong. He is a good actor. He's a great actor. He's a great actor. But okay, but I think the writers didn't know what to go with the third movie because they now downplayed his character. Remember that he seems to have been like the mastermind from the last two movies?
Yes. Yeah, kind of with, constantly trying to quote unquote perfect nature and push his science forward.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden, what is it? Oh my God, what kind of monster am I? Okay, yeah, I get it. People change, but dude, you've kind of been behind. You've been behind the.
You've been behind everything.
Yeah, the Indominus and the Indoraptor.
Not to mention, he was one of the scientists at the original park too.
Yes, you've been a part of this for 30. You've been a part of this for 30 years.
Actually, more because of all the setup for the original park.
Oh yeah, especially. Oh yeah, we get some nice little. I gotta hand it to the people involved. I guess the designers, cinematographers for actually. I think they might have actually filmed Maisie's mother with those actual old video cameras.
Mm-hmm. Which, okay.
It's nice to see. It's kind of cool to see the park in its infancy before the disaster. I honestly, I would kind of like to see that.
Yeah, I want to see what happened before everything hit the fan.
Yes, I want to see what sparked John Hammond to pursue genetic cloning, and why dinosaurs, because we get a little briefly get that in the scene in the very first movie.
Yeah, and there's a lot in the book that really goes into that, but nothing too in the film universe.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, all right. The plot, half the plot. Okay, the majority of the plot is just so convoluted. It doesn't really make sense. It's just kind of a way for all these characters to kind of get together, and to bring the original cast. And when they finally do meet, I mean, it's pretty much the same as every other Jurassic Park movie, but now it feels nostalgic and feels more right, in my opinion. To me.
Yes, it felt good after so long to see the legacy characters finally interact with the newer characters, and honestly, that's a good way to end the series as far as film universe goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Are there things they could have done better? Sure.
Yes, they
Having
could.
Malcolm literally slide into Ellie's DMs honestly feels like a Malcolm thing to do.
It did. They did shoehorn a little bit. They did shoehorn a little bit of a fix. A lot of fans were upset in the third movie, that us included, that Ellie and Grant didn't get together.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I figured that was essentially fan service.
Yeah,
but,
but they actually put in that Ellie and her husband are no longer, he's no longer her husband.
Yeah, they got divorced, and I felt that entire thing was fan service, but I felt it was also right.
Yeah, it was fan service. And it is right, but it is kind of like a little hand wave. Let's forget that ever happened. No, you still made your mistake. We will never forget.
We just reviewed it.
I know. But yeah, they finally get together after a life and death situation,
well,
For the second
two wives in
time.
that situation.
For
for the second time. And, you know, it's great to see at least Ellie and Alan love dinosaurs again.
They still love dinosaurs. Yeah, they still love
We didn't
dinosaurs
really
even
get
after
that
all.
in JP3.
Yeah,
Alan Grant initially was, you know, a grumpy old man, but once he went to Sorna, he perked up and loved dinosaurs right there and then.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's just something that these animals have about them, that certain magic that they have.
Mm-hmm.
They love them.
Yeah. I think the other thing I loved is how even though it's been 30 years since when they were household names, they still have a reputation.
Yeah.
I mean, even Maisie knew who Dr. Grant and Dr. Sattler were.
Yes, although I loved it. You know, the fabulous Dr. Sattler. Oh, and Alan Grant.
Huh?
In certain points of the movie, if I recall correctly, they would generally greet Dr. Sattler with like a pleasing adjective, but then they would say, "Oh, and Dr. Grant," which honestly, sure, if I'm remembering that correctly.
Fine, but are you okay? But where's the what? How about the amazing Dr. Grant? It's not really. I mean, can't really. I mean, if you want, I mean, you can call him fabulous Dr. Grant. But I mean, the dude stood up to an extinct bird with a flare just to rescue some kids.
Yeah. And a whole bunch of other shit.
And other shit. I mean, and all he gets is and Dr. Grant.
I'm sorry, who alerted you about the animals on Sorna that weren't supposed to be there? Probably Dr. Grant. So, but yeah, no, Dominion did a lot of things right.
It did some right things. I liked how Ellie's intro, she's wearing the exact same thing that she wore in the first movie.
Oh my god!
A salmon-colored top, light blue tank top. And it's like, yep, that's how we know her.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Grant, well, he's in the dirt.
He's in the dirt where he likes to be. He has his hat. I kind of okay. And Dr. Ian Malcolm is in black, talking about chaos and the folly of man as usual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they got these characters perfect. They are who we expect them to be, even after so long.
But and honestly, Dominion was good. Dominion was good. I liked it. Zaid asked, "Where's Billy?" Probably still nursing his peck wounds from Jurassic Park 3.
Well, those be some nice scars, but
I don't know. Oh,
I don't know. Maybe he finally got his doctorate.
Here comes Matt.
Oh. Bum bum.
Do not worry, folks, or sir. The problem is not with your screen. Hello, Matt. Nice of you to join us.
How you doing?
I just gotta do some rearranging.
Okay. Oh, just so you know, Matt, we are live.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Yes, we are.
Very.
Just got to crop some things.
Okay. But we've been talking about Dominion, Matt.
Excellent. Well, I have the perfect drink for this discussion.
Uh,
Go.
would you? What was it?
That's my Dr. Pepper Dark Berry. One of the, 7. The effort I went to collect all 7 cans
Ooh.
was nothing short of a miracle. I went to so many different stores to try to find everything. The elusive Dark Berry Zero would be the real trick.
I believe the effort you went through. I would have done the same thing.
Yes, but I succeeded. I have all 7 unopened.
Oh, nice.
Excellent.
That's gonna make you a
he's
mint.
never going to open them.
That'll make you a mint.
I drank more Dr. Pepper this past month than any normal person should. I couldn't give the stuff away. I had way too much of it.
But so, since you're here, what did you think of Dominion?
I thought it was good. I thought it was a suitable ending to, if you want to call it the trilogy, the sixogy, whatever you want to call it. I thought it was a suitable way to tie the beginning to the end, to merge the 2 worlds, the Jurassic Park franchise merged with the Jurassic World franchise, because they are 2 separate entities. Obviously, they have different characters, and very rarely did anybody cross over. Like Ian Malcolm made that appearance in the last one, but it was a very brief appearance.
Yeah, and they marketed him as like, oh, we got Jeff Goldblum. They marketed him.
Jeff Goldblum.
They marketed him ad nauseum, and he only he didn't even show up for most of the movie. That's the other thing I was angry about Fallen Kingdom. The marketing was awful. But we'll get. But,
they showed way too much of that movie in the marketing.
All right, Matt, because you joined in late, I'm doing some, and we're live. I got to do some rearranging because instead of being on Zoom, I am using this special software that live streamer use called OBS. So I gotta add in. I have to add you in and get you your overlay, and as well as there we go. As well as move myself and Ian around so that we can bring you in. But anyway, and while I'm doing that, I'll just distract our audience, and by audience I mean Zaid, our faithful fan to this. And I'll also have to agree with you, Matt, that I thought this was a very good closing chapter, a good way to bridge the old and the new. And it's, for me, it's also kind of what made the last half hour of Jurassic Park the most enjoyable one. The most enjoyable part. There we go. Oh, where am I? Where are we? You guys are gone. Sorry, I have to. There we go. Whew. I loved the interaction like after they survived the first wave of the Giganotosaurus. But let's see, especially with Owen and Grant. When Grant goes, Owen, I've heard of you. You train raptors, right?
Yeah, you could tell he was a little bit impressed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of hard not to be. I mean, especially going off of Jurassic Park 3 when they had those theories about raptors.
Yeah.
and all the experience he had with raptors. I mean, who wouldn't be impressed by that? Was there any... Okay. What else did we like? I mean, how about that they brought back Dodson?
That I didn't expect. That was a surprise.
Yeah.
So I thought it was nice. He was completely different from the first one. Now, whether or not that came with just the development of himself as a person, or if they just wanted to try to make him some sort of weird version of Steve Jobs and they wrote him that way, I don't know. But it's almost like not even the same character that was in the first one.
I like I like that you compared him to Steve Jobs. I thought that too. I mean, it's kind of hard not to. He was Jobs was a very influential person when it came in regards to corporate America.
Yeah. So that was my immediate thought. I'm like, well, is he playing Steve Jobs? Is that what this is? Because he's acting like.
I think so. Yes,
I'm sure that they kind of nodded to Steve Jobs when they wrote his mannerisms and the way he was supposed to act.
Yes,
in the movie.
Yeah, an extravagant. What's the word? I guess passionate, and also controversial spokesperson.
Yeah.
What was your my favorite? Let's see. We talked about dinosaurs that showed up. My favorite one was I forget the name. The scythe dinosaur, Therizinosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Oh God, yes.
I'd already mentioned to Ian that I thought that was probably my favorite part of the entire movie, when he was stalking Claire and she went under the water and you got to see his face right above it.
Oh God, yeah, that was a good one.
That was chilling. I loved it. Great scene. And that's just a real badass dinosaur. Anyway, really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Imagine my surprise when I hear Ian say that it was an herbivore.
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought so. But you saw its mouth up close and it had, I don't remember seeing any sharp teeth. So it was more like a beak, like a beak dinosaur.
Mm-hmm. And as I was telling John, great suspense in that scene as well.
Yeah.
Right up there with the T-Rex reveal in the first film.
Yes.
Okay, so Zaid has mentioned this 3 times. We have our loyal fan who's been chatting with us during the live stream. He's mentioned this 3 times. What about Dreadnoughtus?
Dreadnoughtus. Yes.
What's the Dreadnoughtus?
Dreadnoughtus was a large sauropod from South America.
What was sauropod? So the long neck dinosaur?
The one, the one in like the logging mill or whatever it was. Is that what
the Apatosaurus?
I was
okay.
So
now, the only reason I know anything about the Dreadnoughtus is from playing Jurassic World Live, the game, because they featured all these dinosaurs that are in the movie in the last update in the game. So I was aware of it, and then I didn't know where it was in the movie. Was it in the movie?
It was. The Sanctuary had them.
Okay.
What part of in which part?
I think it was the... geez, it's been a while since I've seen the movie. I only saw it once. But basically, anytime you see a long-necked sauropod in the actual sanctuary, more often than not, it would probably be Dreadnoughtus.
Okay. Okay, so...
And of course, that animal has the badass name that means fears nothing.
Well, when you're...
I just assumed afterwards that it was that one that Maisie saw in the beginning. I just figured, well, that's the new dinosaur, the new long neck that they're featuring. I thought that was the one.
All right. Well, sauropods are actually my sauropods are actually my favorite type of dinosaur because of The Land Before Time. The main character
Yes.
was essentially a
Little
sauropod.
foot.
Mm-hmm. And I'm glad that you brought up I'm glad you brought up logging mill. So, because now that's actually a pretty good transition to say which parts of Dominion did we not like, or just kind of we have gripes with, or just kind of annoyed about. The entirety of the logging mill did not annoy me. In fact, I kind of liked it because everything was just spoken through action, no dialogue, and I like it when movies just take time to show it.
Yeah.
What I didn't like is that I think the theater that I saw it in did not compensate for the fact that it was filmed with an IMAX format, so to be projected onto a smaller non-IMAX silver screen. So, because half the time, the dinosaurs' heads would be cut off halfway.
Hmm.
And so the Apatosaurus, when you're seeing it, you're supposed to like be in awe at the size of this creature, and that it's also kind of disrupting our blue collar work. And half of its head is cut off. I mean,
Well, John, do you know what that means? You have to go see it again
Yep. In IMAX.
on a better screen. Yeah, IMAX. Screen.
I don't have an IMAX screen in my hometown. I'm lucky enough to even get 3D. Alright. Alright, so that's kind of my gripe. The other one is, with Henry Wu's character essentially just being written down to be like oh, poor me. And just the whole let's focus. Let's see. Maisie is the key to this. Is the key to the ultimate truth of genetic engineering. Oh yeah, and the hand wave that she's not really a clone.
Yeah.
Honestly, okay, maybe not. Now that I've said that out loud, it's not so much a hand wave, because with Fallen Kingdom you can kind of maybe make the argument that it was that it's pretty much the bad guy just being a bad guy. He lied.
True.
Yeah.
That's what bad guys do. They lie.
I mean, if the whole thing is to try to offer redemption for Wu, then okay, because he started as a decent person who's just a genetic engineer for InGen, hanging out with John Hammond. Then he became the villain after a while, a couple movies in, and now we come full circle, and he's trying to, I guess, rectify all the things that he did wrong, and sort of bring down Dodgson's operation from inside, knowing that it's wrong, and he wants to fix it all. So it's sort of an arc of redemption for him. I still don't really like his character that much. I never really have.
I mocked his fashion as the pandemic and post-pandemic look.
Yeah.
Did you think that too? Like he
looked like, I don't know if he was trying to look like a mad scientist or what with the crazy long hair, but it bothered me. I prefer the short-haired Henry Wu, the way that we know him to look. He just didn't seem like the same character, and he's always seemed kind of a dick, and he was in this too. So
I remembered something. Remember in the first movie how Wu mocks Malcolm, about when the line is that you're saying that a park composed of animals made entirely of females will eventually breed. 5 movies later, that's what happens.
yeah. Well, hell, in the same movie, it started happening. So
Yeah, but they could. Yeah, but because they had frog DNA, they could change their sex from female to male. This movie implies that Blue, who had a baby, doesn't have a mate.
right,
What-
and she just immaculate conception. She just
Impregnated
herself. So does that mean that Beta is the savior of the world?
It
Beta's
must.
the Messiah.
Well,
I mean, you
No.
could add Christianity themes all over the place now. If you want to say Beta represents Jesus, maybe.
wait,
not?
Raptor Jesus.
Saint Goldblum. Look at the picture that I got. The picture that I gave you, Ian, on this past
Yes.
Yule. It was a prophecy.
But no, because to be honest, Blue having a child like that without a mate, not entirely out of the question.
Dinosaurs
Even
been
with
able
what
to.
we know now.
Dinosaurs have been able to do that. Are able to do that in real life.
Well, not dinosaurs per se, but I think a few crocodilians have been noted of doing it. There's several lizards that can do it.
Blue is a little bit. I mean, a raptor
But
is
again-
a little bit more advanced than
And
a flippant gecko.
And
you know?
again, these are creatures that have chromosomes as well as the reproductive organs of males and females. It is not it's not stated or shown in any way in the movie that Blue either has these chromosomes or these organs. It's just
No, John. It's more so the animals are cloning themselves.
How? That's
I'm a zookeeper, but it has been documented. For mourning geckos, there is no male at all, and yet they breed.
So how? I mean, is one growing male appendages somewhere somehow?
No,
That's the
no,
point.
it's just females. There's only females, and they just breed.
So it's like spontaneous generation of.
Yes.
spontaneous gestation.
Yeah,
Yes.
it really.
It's been documented. That's
Yes,
why
it's
mourning
been
geckos are everywhere, and they're cheap.
This is
This is too science fiction even for Jurassic Park.
heavy. It's very
Except
heavy.
it's not science fiction.
Science fact.
It is.
I kind of wish they would just at least state or show it instead of just this happens. Well, why?
Again, blue is also
I don't know. I think
not.
if they show it, you're going to get an R rating, though. So
No, I don't mean show the actual mate. I mean show something that explains
Action
how.
tugging.
All right.
there are websites for that, John.
I just kind of want an explanation as to how Blue, who is supposed to be female, can have offspring with without a mate.
It's called parthenogenesis.
Well, every other one that was born, like let's go back to Lost World for a moment. The little baby Rex, was that then a direct clone, essentially, of one of the parents?
Probably not, because they were a mated pair.
Okay, so that was a male and a female, or was that two females?
I
don't-
think it was a male and female because, at least in my head canon, the animals in Lost World are like testing. They're seeing what animals they can make.
Now
So
that you
maybe they-
remember what Roland said. He said, my fee, you can forget it. I just want to hunt a Rex the bull." So he did refer to it as a male. He said he wanted the male Rex.
Also, yeah, and also pretty smart on what's his name? What's his name? Who was the InGen big bad? What was his name again?
Peter
Ludlow.
Ludlow.
Yeah, Ludlow, that's it. Nice job on Ludlow for not telling him that it's actually the female that's bigger than the male.
Actually,
Oh, are you telling what? I remember science saying that when it came to T-Rexes, the female was bigger. Now you're saying that science has said that, oh no, actually there's a slight change to that.
That was something that did gain a lot of support, especially in the early 2000s. Nowadays, if we look at other living archosaurs, the majority of them, the males are bigger.
Really?
Crocodilians, most birds, the males are bigger. You gotta keep up with your science, John.
Science, it's not all about finding the right answer, it's just about finding an answer and explaining it.
I'll get comfy, cat.
Yeah, he's comfy. He's been loving this ever since I got a new-ish chair. Okay,
Matt, what did you think of the introduction of feathers?
I think that was a good call, because for a long time everybody's been talking about, oh well, dinosaurs had feathers and this and that, and so I think it was good to show, what was it, the Pyroraptor, giving him feathers. I was waiting for him to take flight, which would have been kind of cool. Now the fact that he jumped in the water, that was unexpected. I mean we saw it in the preview.
Yeah,
but
that's the another thing I had issues with, because I know that some birds, aside from penguins, birds kind of avoid the water, at least staying too long in the water, because the feathers absorb it and then it makes them heavy and then makes them unable to, unless they're ducks or geese. Swans or geese, those kinds.
Yeah, aquatic fowl.
Zaid, Tyler's not. Tyler won't be joining us tonight.
Yeah, he has not seen the movie yet. # fake fan.
Oh, shut up.
Hold up.
And okay, yeah. Aside from but I do know that some birds, they can actually go so fast that they will dive underwater and then shoot right back out after they grab something.
Some seabirds do that.
Seabirds like skua, seagulls.
Yeah. So I mean, a Pyroraptor swimming, to be honest, that's not entirely out of the realm of possibility.
Leave that. That is not a chew toy. Cats. All right. All right. So how? All right. I think, okay, I feel like we're kind of running out of steam, even though Matt just briefly
Matt just
joined us.
But what did you guys think about the sequences in Malta?
Well, I did like the chase sequence.
Well, yeah.
I didn't like the build up to being in Malta. I just like the fact that finally crap hits the fan.
We saw a lot of that in the previews. You saw the chase that was happening there, and that, I think, is part of what made people think the movie was going in a different direction than it did. It made people think, oh, it's going to show people dealing with dinosaurs out in the real world in their daily lives. You know, sort of like Battle at Big Rock showed us, and then it didn't go that direction. And I think that's what a lot of people had problems with. They wanted that.
Yeah.
But like I said to Ian, if they had done that, and they could just as easily have done that, then you'd have people complaining that they went that direction and didn't do something new, and that they just did Lost World all over again with the T-Rex trashing San Diego. So I'm glad that they chose to do something a little bit more daring and actually come up with a new story, instead of rehashing something that they already did.
Well, I can't argue with that because I did complain earlier that I kind of wish that the story was more about humans and dinosaurs coexisting.
And they may go that direction.
And we get a little bit, and we briefly see that there's some nice little coexistence with the ending shots. I mean, we see like a pteranodon, like pterosaurs. I believe that's the group they'd be called. Flying with birds. We see mosasaur swimming with humpback whales. And I forget the dinosaur that is we see parasaurs galloping with horses. I
We
mean,
saw
they certainly
Triceratops herding with elephants.
They teased that direction at the end of the last one when they showed the animals out, like perched on top of the Eiffel Tower in Vegas, the lion roaring at the T-Rex. They teased that was the direction that they were going to go, and they may yet. Just because this is the end of the Jurassic World saga does not mean that they're not going to make more Jurassic movies. And the studio knows that it's going to make money if they do, so there will be another one. I would stake my life on that there will be another Jurassic something movie that comes out.
We might we'll get like a limited series, since that's what on a exclusive streaming platform like Disney and Paramount are doing. I don't know
Probably
what
Peacock.
Netflix, because
Yeah,
Netflix
Peacock,
already
yeah.
has Camp Cretaceous, so it sounds to me like Netflix already owns the rights to doing expanded universe stuff.
Perhaps.
Okay, so and I guess if they do like limited series to kind of like expand the lore, I would definitely like. We did. Ian and I said that we would kind of like to see like a series about the infancy of the original Jurassic Park, since we saw like home movies of Maisie's mother.
Right. I had problems with her because when you saw the one, it's like, well, there's Maisie, and as she got a little bit older, still looked like Maisie. Then it's her as an adult, didn't look anything like her. And suddenly that mole on her face disappeared, and I was like, this bothers me. That doesn't look anything like her anymore. I thought that they needed to fix that a little bit. I know you got to find an actress that looks kind of like this young girl, and then that's a tall order, but I don't know. I thought they could have done a little bit better job with the casting there.
Oh well, I didn't. They bring back. What was Owen's number 2 guy?
From Barry.
Barry, yes. I kept thinking Billy. It was definitely a B. It was a B-Y name that. Yeah, yes, Barry. It was nice. It was nice to see him again. Honestly, the first Jurassic World and Dominion, that feels like that's what Jurassic World kind of should have been. Kind of a little bit of a fan service, but also kind of telling its own story. And Fallen Kingdom didn't feel like that. Fallen Kingdom didn't feel like that to me.
Which is weird because that film came out the year of the 25th anniversary of the first film.
I know.
Yeah, it should have been better. I mean, the Indoraptor scenes in the mansion were cool. Very cool. But the story as a whole was just, they just put Lost World on the copy machine. It was
the Lost World mixed with every sci-fi B movie, mad science thing. Mm-hmm. And that's just my personal opinion. If you like Fallen Kingdom, that's great. More power to you.
Yeah, of the Jurassic World series, it's definitely the weakest. Mm-hmm. So, where I put this one, Dominion, probably the strongest.
Yeah, I felt like I did feel like Dominion did redeem the Jurassic World franchise, and not just in fans. not just in fan service, but also kind of in entertainment, as well as just lots of dinosaurs, lots and lots of dinosaur sequences. Because you compare this Jurassic World movie to the first Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is kind of all about raising your hopes up and then dashing them to bits. So there's not a lot of dino attacks, but enough.
Mm-hmm. There was suspense. Yeah. There was good suspense.
Yes, very good suspense.
Dodged in the tunnel with the Dilophosaurus. Claire up against the tree with the Dilophosaurus. The Therizinosaurus above the water. The Dimetrodons in the cave. I thought that was
Dimetrodons. Forgot to mention those.
That was really neat.
Dimetrodons.
They were great to see.
Oh, I thought those were the Spinosaurs, the actual Spinosaurs.
No, those were Dimetrodons, and it was great to see those.
Yes, that was the first. I don't think that they've been in the movies before.
No, they haven't.
They've been in the toy line since the first movie.
Yeah, I think
I have one of those.
Was the first dinosaur toy I ever got when I was probably like 8 years old was probably a Dimetrodon.
And not only that, I believe that Dominion has also kind of helped redeem the failure of Jurassic Park 3 by kind of giving a story. A lot of us have I'm sure a lot of fans have complained about, the fight between the T-Rex and the Spinosaurus, and I'm shocked that it took us this long to get here, but the climax fight between Rexy, the Giganotosaurus, and then the Therizinosaurus. Or there's what is it?
You're good. You're right. You're good.
Okay. And honestly, I was kind of thinking like it was kind of like a WWE wrestling. You get the Therizin is the one that is like the savior that comes in at the last minute. And what's amazing is that the Giga and the Tyranno, they duke it out very early on, and then it's over pretty quickly. I was like, oh, this means that there's gonna be another one.
Mm-hmm.
Like what?
That's what we wanted to see in JP3.
Yes. So that's why it redeemed. That's why it's redeemed, and then we get the climax fight, and it looks like Rexy is out for the count.
It looks like she died finally.
Yeah.
But of course not. You knew it was going to come back.
I was pretty shocked. But then she springs back to life, and I'm like, round 2.
And that fight was awesome. I also appreciated so much, because JP3 was still fresh in my mind when I saw this. The animals behaved like animals. The Giga fought the T-Rex off for a deer so it could eat.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't fight to the death over something that size. They just had a spat, a few bites or snaps, and it won, and it took the deer. That's what predators do.
And I liked how, and Grant even mentions that it's like, it's not us they're after.
Yeah, so let's just kind of sidestep out of here a little bit.
Get out of the way.
The end of the first one. The raptors are fighting the T-Rex. They're no longer interested in us, so let's just kind of move aside and let them duke it out.
It was amazing. And I did chuckle a little bit when you see the silhouette of Rexy coming through the circular fountain, so looking a little bit like the logo.
Yes. I've seen that in some little spots and ads online. It's just like, yeah.
Yeah, it was fan service, but it was awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
Fan service. That's what we want.
I chuckled at how the Giga briefly breathed fire for a bit.
Yes.
Bit of a Godzilla moment, but you know,
A dragon
cool.
moment.
yeah.
And honestly, the one thing that shocked me the most is that the major characters survived.
Yeah, you said in our previous review, you wanted to take bets on who dies.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm happy that I lost that bet, because I was gonna be so sure that the male characters were gonna die, because that's the trend nowadays.
I thought might be Ian. I thought he might meet his end finally.
I thought it would have been
That hurts right here.
I thought it would have been Alan.
The only reason I thought it was going to be Ian was during the movie, because he was betraying Dodgson, so I thought Dodgson was going to like shoot him or something, because Dodgson is so unhinged and unpredictable. I thought he'd just kind of take out a gun and blast him, and that would just be an unfitting, unceremonious way for Malcolm to meet his end, and it would just awful.
No, instead he just throws like a temper tantrum and just moves his arms like a cat.
He does.
That was like,
He's just
dude, you're a grown man. It's not that you threw a temper tantrum. It's just how restrained your temper tantrum is. But he was in a control room with a lot of highly sensitive electronics, so I understand that. But still, it was just goofy.
I agree.
Like skippity pap 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 pap.
What did you guys think of the black market cage fight?
Oh God. Okay.
That was
Okay, so you got all right. So you got dinosaur rustlers or dinosaur poachers, essentially. You also got black market pet dealings, I guess. And the black market cage fightings. I told this to you. That's actually kind of an interesting concept. I also told this to you. Another interesting concept: dinosaur food. I mean, come on,
Yeah.
Kentucky Fried Compies.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could see it. It would become like a exotic cuisine.
I told John that it would probably be like people eating alligator. It wouldn't be any major thing. It would just be like a status thing.
I mean, in New Orleans they eat alligators. That's not really much of a luxury. That's like so very common. So Cajun mosasaur.
Okay, but there's exactly one.
That's true.
And it turns out they
They
can
would
breed.
purposefully start farming them. That would be the thing, and
If you
which would
could.
go against everything that they were saying they didn't want to do. We don't want to create more. We're trying to coexist with the ones we have, but you know that there's going to be people that would start to buy them and breed them and raise them as farm stock.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, we saw that in the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Unethical, of course, but
Yeah.
not to mention there's also the fact that these animals are technically endangered.
That's true. So they'd be treated. So instead of like farm stock, they'd be more like gold. Like it'd be like gold. They're very rare and therefore very valuable.
Yeah, it would be an exotic animal trade. That's essentially what it would be, which is what they were doing in Fallen Kingdom. Starting the exotic animal
I
trade.
mean,
Yeah.
we still see that today in our real world. We still see, underhanded dealings of exotic animals.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I did like that. I'm also kind of very appreciative that even though they brought back Zia and Franklin, they're not around for very long.
Oh,
I wish that she was in it a little bit more. I would have preferred her over Franklin.
Well, yeah, but me personally, I see a lot of Zia and Franklin's on social media, and honestly, that's too much for me.
did you notice that the baryonyx in the young baryonyx in the cage fight had a metal prosthetic arm?
No.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, there's a
it-
minifigure coming out, or actually it is out, in the Mystery Eggs that has a prosthetic metal arm.
Oh boy, it must be one of those blink and you miss it because of the
There was a lot going on in that scene. There was a lot.
But that just means you have to watch it again.
Yes, I do. Like you had to twist my arm on that one.
Your robotic arm.
My prosthetic Alec Baryonyx arm.
But it's very interesting that they were fighting cloned baby dinosaurs. It's like very... that's just cruel because cockfighting exists in our day and age, and dog fighting, this is the same sort of thing. And, people place bets and all that, and, it sucks, and I hate that it exists, but it's good to see in a medium like this, because it brings attention to that sort of thing, and obviously the fans of Jurassic obviously have great empathy and sympathy towards these animals, and we're not going to want to see that, and obviously everything else in the Malta sequences was really shady and under the table.
Yeah. Also, I'm kind of... The reason why I'm appreciative of Zia and Franklin making, brief appearances, that they finally kind of explain why Claire made such a dramatic turn in her character from movie 1 and movie 2. Kind of like calling her out on doing all this dangerous stuff because really she's doing it out of guilt.
Yeah, essentially. She feels bad about what she did, so she's trying to make up for it now.
But you really can't.
No.
I mean, you have to learn to live with the bad crap that you did, especially when it eventually impacted the world. I mean, you try to mitigate it, but, it's just something you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Like, I am partially responsible for all this bad things that happened.
Yeah, sad but true. There we go.
I thought that sequence in the beginning with them, rescuing those animals, I don't think that really advanced the storyline in any way. It was just an opportunity for Zia to get her 5 minutes in the movie, but it just didn't really mean anything. They could have omitted that and started the story with, Owen and Claire at the cabin with Maisie, started the story there, and it would have been just fine. So
they could have cut the beginning part and put in the prologue.
Yeah,
I guess.
It looked like it was just tacked on to do something else.
Yeah,
they never really touched on it again. Oh, we're rescuing these animals from these illegal farming things. Well, and then they kind of just forgot all about it, and they started focusing on the plague of locusts straight out of the Bible. So,
oh god, I would love to see what behind the scenes of what the direction was. Okay, there's a bunch of bugs coming at you, and what you need to do is scream. Is there anything else? No, just scream.
Scream and run.
They scream. It's funny is that I actually remember, I see these kids, you see them not only scream and run and close the door, lock it down, but then they stop and then they scream again. It's like
the director
they grab weapons. They stop screaming. Then they scream again.
Like they forgot what they were supposed to do. Line, yell. Okay.
Again, that's one of the. Okay, that's another one of my gripes. But I just mock it. Not to be a jerk, but because I did enjoy this movie.
Well, very few movies are perfect.
Yes.
Every movie's going to have some flaws. With the exception of like Empire Strikes Back or Labyrinth or Goonies, things like that.
Jurassic Park.
perfect. Yeah, the first Jurassic, absolutely perfect movies. Every movie's going to have a flaw.
Mhm.
But Shawshank Redemption, perfect from start to finish. Not a flaw in that movie.
Mhm.
But most movies have something wrong, some sort of goofy scene or some forced dialogue, something that seems out of place, and this movie is no exception. There was a couple goofy parts, but on the whole, I thought it was great. Good movie.
All right. All right. Zaid has said that Colin Trevorrow has actually confirmed that those two T-Rexes were in fact a buck and a doe from Isla Sorna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
at the end of the movie, we
baby?
see Rexy coming up to Buck and Doe.
Say what?
And they get along, and they hold claws and sing Kumbaya.
If that is actually true, and I mean, director said so there you go.
Big.
That it's good to see them again. Good to see they're still kicking around.
Yep.
Wait, they made an appearance in the movie?
At the
End
end,
of the movie.
Oh God, do I have to see it again? Okay, I'll just see it again for the OG
Theater.
cast.
See it again for the OG cast and
That-
the Therizinosaurus.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I want. That's all. I'll just see it for the OG cast. I'll see it so that Dodson can be returned and then get eaten by Dilophosaurus and then lose the can for a second time. Yeah, the Barbasol can somehow survived. I'm guessing the game is now canon.
Well, it was always. Colin did say it was soft canon, but I guess that means this is,
The Jurassic
Confirmed.
Park, the Telltale game of Jurassic Park, the game, is canon. That means that they're no longer lysine deficient, or at least Rexy isn't.
and every other animal that was on Newbor.
and injecting them with anything, so they seem to be surviving fine on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
But
that's
again,
because
John Hamm-
you don't need much lysine.
Remember, John Hammond said at the beginning of Lost World when Ian Malcolm was questioning him, he's like, "What about the lysine deficiency thing? Like, shouldn't they have dropped dead?" And John Hammond's like, "Yes, and they're not, and I don't know why." And that's just one of a million questions I want answered.
Sarah kind of confirmed that, before going off to the Stegosauruses, that the herbivores are actually eating the food that is rich in lysine.
Yeah.
And because predators eat herbivores, they're also eating the lysine.
Mm-hmm. Which I think was a kind of a lazy way to explain the carnivores.
Lazy but simple that a child can understand it.
Yeah,
Just
it works.
like how Steven Spielberg does it. He makes something complex and something easy to understand, something for younger audiences to understand.
Yes. So, I mean, that's a Lion King explanation, we eat the animals that eat the grass, and then when we die, we turn into the grass and they eat us. So, thanks, Pasa.
Sounds like we're still getting the better end of the deal.
I think so.
I still love it.
I can't feel it when I turn into grass and they eat me.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm already dead.
I don't know. I still love The Lion King, and I still love Jurassic Park. And you know what? This movie was good. This movie was good too. I mean, it's a nice wholesome. I don't know. Okay, I don't know about it. It's a nice bookend to the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
Am I glad we got here? Yes. Do I wish we could have avoided Fallen Kingdom to get there? Yes.
The whole thing started strong and ended strong. In the middle, lost its way here and there, wavered a little bit, but found it again at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it stumbled a bit, but it got its footing back.
I mean, there isn't any of the Jurassic movies that I will refuse to watch. You put any of them on, and I'm going to sit there and watch them all.
I mean, I found myself enjoying 3 in its dumb in all of its dumbness. I found I kind of loved it because it gave me a lot of material to mock it with.
A lot of people are this is what I'm seeing on social media, is people are people are revisiting 3 and saying, it's not as bad as we remember. Even Sam Neill said, give it a shot. It's not as bad as you think it is. And he's right. It's certainly not strong, but it isn't a terrible movie by any stretch.
No, we've seen worse on this show.
Oh, Ian, if you saw any of the movies that I've seen just in my downtime,
We're not watching The Room.
Your brain would explode. Oh my god, I've seen movies worse than The Room. I've seen movies worse than the Star Wars Holiday Special.
I don't believe that. I don't. That's not quantifiable in how bad it is. Oh, geez, John's gonna torture me now.
No, I'm not gonna. No, I didn't. No, I want you to live.
Well, so does she, but she's more apathetic and only cares if I bring her food. But yeah, as far as Dominion goes, like you said, it's a great ride. The actual film is a great ride. There's a lot more good than bad in Dominion. And there's really, I don't think you could have ended it better any other way.
No, I think what they did worked. It worked well.
They did what they could. They
tried a few new things, and
this could have gone in any direction, both good and bad, and they
dared to be different, and it worked, I think.
Yeah. Also, don't freaking listen to Rotten Tomatoes. The critics give it like something 30%.
Oh, critics don't know. They liked the 2016 Ghostbusters, so that should tell you about.
I mean, it's funny. I looked at Fallen Kingdom. I seem to fall in line with the critics when it comes to that one, mostly negative. But then I look at Dominion, and critics are saying that this apparently is even worse than Fallen Kingdom. I was like, no way.
Oh, it's not.
No. And even though I love Fallen Kingdom, I seem to be in the minority here, in that I love it. And even I can say that, I just got a notification that my coworker is where they filmed Jurassic Park. Cool.
Your what?
My coworker is on site where they filmed Jurassic Park in Hawaii.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to tell her to take pictures and send them to me. But even though Fallen Kingdom's not perfect by any means, to say that Dominion is worse than Fallen Kingdom, no, it's so much better.
Yeah, I mean, okay, Dominion had a convoluted plot where half of it was actually more interesting than the other half. Fallen Kingdom had not only a convoluted plot, but it was like 2 movies stitched together. I mean, I
can agree with that. Yeah,
my sister.
I've also heard people say that there's hardly any dinosaurs in Dominion. I'm sorry, what movie did you watch?
They must have had their eyes closed, because I saw lots of dinosaurs.
Did they accidentally walk into the new Top Gun movie instead?
Probably. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll probably mention something. I've got a lot more things to say about Fallen Kingdom when we do my drinking game rewatch.
But yes, but Dominion, I gotta say it's solid.
Yeah.
There's a few things I could have done without. A few things I wish they did. I wish Alan met Blue.
I wish Blue appeared more.
Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, that's like one nitpick from my couple that I have, but overall, I enjoyed it.
Okay, I guess with that goes on to our rating. Sorry, Matt, that you couldn't, that you joined us pretty late.
That's all right. I got a good solid hour in with y'all.
Okay. All right, so I guess Ian, since you were, I guess Ian, we'll start with you. What's your rating?
Jurassic World Dominion, for me, scores 9 out of 10.
10 what?
Oh, geez. 9 out of 9 out of 10 Pyroraptors. Swimming. 9 out of 10 swimming Pyroraptors.
Okay.
It's a great ending to the series. I don't think they could have ended it any other way that could be better. And it finishes a lot of the plot threads. We see trained raptors. We see animals being used a laser targeting system to select, prey, which was taken from Fallen Kingdom. Great to see that continued and wrapped up here. We got a raptor motorcycle chase. That was good to see come back in a different format. And overall, just great to see more dinosaurs interacting with people. I wish there was more of it, obviously, but for the story that they wanted to tell, this is great. And I think the entire Jurassic Saga will hold me over until whatever comes next. If they don't make another one, I'm satisfied.
All right. Matt, how about you?
I'm also going to say 9. We're going to say 9 prehistoric locusts out of 10.
Are they flaming, though?
Yes, they are. Very flaming, but not flaming.
I think they might. I think they were. I think they might have been fire retardant, part fire retardant, because, good God, they burned for quite a while and they were still going.
They did. Yeah. So, but to echo what Ian said, there was some goofy stuff, but there was more good than bad. I thought it was solid. I enjoyed it a lot. I want to go see it again. I haven't had a chance to, because I'm sure that there is stuff that I'm going to pick up on in the second viewing that I missed in the first, like the prosthetic arm. Didn't even see that in the first one, so I'm looking forward to that. And it's always nice to see a movie the second time when you already know what's coming. You can focus more on the other stuff. You're not worried about. Yeah, you're not worried. The jump scares are not going to get you this time because you know what's coming. So you can kind of look and enjoy the background because you don't have to pay as much attention to what's going on here. So you can get a little bit of a deeper appreciation for it. So yes, I do want to go out and see it again. I'm looking forward to it. I'm also looking forward to the extra 18 minutes or something.
14. Extra 14 minutes.
Yeah, that Trevorrow says is coming for the release, and I'm sure that they're not going to waste a whole lot of time getting that out on DVD or streaming because they can get quite a bit more money off of that.
What really? That's coming from the physical release or a re-release?
For the physical release on home media.
Ooh,
people want a re-release in theaters with the extra 14 minutes.
I wonder if
do I think it'll happen? Probably not, but
I don't think so either, because I think they'll save that for the home media to drive up sales.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they're going to have a hard time getting sales anyway. Jurassic like us are going to rush right out opening day and buy it. We don't stream stuff like that. We go out and we buy the physical movie because we want a hard copy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the fans do.
I mean,
9 prehistoric locusts out of 10. Could have been better, but that's nitpicking. On the whole, great movie.
Okay, well, now for me, well, if I was judging it as part of the entirety of the Jurassic Park franchise, it would have a lower score compared to even Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. Both were very good first entries of their respective trilogies. But Dominion as just the sequel trilogy as a whole was a very good bookend to the franchise. And it's a redeeming movie for the franchise, because again, kind of stumbled a bit with Fallen Kingdom. I'd have to agree with Matt. There are some goofy moments, but it is overall entertaining. It was great to see some new dinosaurs. It was great to see the new cast interact with the original cast and see them seeing them be the characters that we still see them as. And the chemistry was great. Plot's a little convoluted. Story doesn't really make sense at times, but you know what? It was a very serviceable movie, so I would have to give it 8 impaled Giganotosauruses out of 10. And with that concludes the first ever live stream of the Nerdvana podcast, which, seeing as how this, I'm going to look back at this, but if this is successful, we just might be doing more of these if we're so inclined.
Okay.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Ian?
I'd be open to it.
Matt?
Sure. Count me in.
It would also cut down on your editing time.
Oh God, no kidding. Also be a nice way to actually chat with the viewers. Yeah.
On one hand, I agree. On the other hand, my job says you people. But, that's me. But, yeah, I'd be open to doing more live streams. And, have to get Tyler in on some of these.
Oh, yeah. I think he would like that. He's been wanting to do, like, video game streams for a while.
Well, we're going to torture you later at some point.
Oh, right, yeah, with Alien Isolation. Yeah, that's...
But
like I said, if we are so inclined, we will do more live streams. But
depending on what projects we want to do and stuff like that, because there's some stuff you can't do in a live stream.
Yeah. But with that, we will conclude this broadcast. And until next time, this is John Murphy,
Ian Benoit,
Matt Brewster,
signing off.